If you buy this Vevor wire stripper, this is what you're gonna get. Clean copper. Hello friends and welcome to Tony's Reviews. Today we're checking out this little Vevor wire stripping machine. It's supposed to make wire stripping a little easier and put a drill on there. I've got a little Milwaukee drill on there and that works as the motor, and it's supposed to pull the wire through and strip it. And if you don't want to use a drill, you can use this hand crank. I wouldn't suggest it because it seems like it would be tedious, but it's got a little hole there. Slide it on right there, and you just tighten this down right here, and you would just crank it. Obviously, this is in the way. We got this mounted here, but you can mount this sideways and then crank it like that. Now, with like something like this SOW cord or SJOW, stuff like this, soft rubber comes off of this fairly easy, but the rubber that's on the cording in there does not come off very easy, so I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. So it took me a long time to get some of this stripped. I didn't put it in the video because I just don't think it's worth it. I didn't do very much of it, so I strongly suggest against trying to strip this stuff with one of those machines. If you want to adjust the blade on this, which you will from time to time, the black knob that's right here on top is how you do that. So you'll turn it clockwise or counterclockwise depending on how high or low you want the blade. You can see the blade down in here just like that. That little knob on top allows you to lower that down just right, so you can just put it on there just enough to strip the wire, and you want it just low enough to strip the wire on there, because if you go a little deeper, then it starts wanting to come off track. So that's just a little advice. I'm going to give you a little demonstration and show you how well this thing works, or how well it doesn't work with certain types of wire. Zip them through, and you go fast too. If you get a hold of it, you go fast. So the wire goes in here, and I suggest wearing gloves while you're doing this because, you know, it is copper. You stick it in that end, and you push your trigger, and it comes through. And what I've figured out while doing this is you want to hold on to the wire and guide it. And when it comes through over here, you want to try to make sure that it stays centered so that that blade's cutting right down the middle. This hole's probably a little too big for this. It comes with some gauges, or it comes with some different guards. But for me, I realized after using this for a while that the guards really didn't seem to matter. And you'll see here as it comes out the other end, it's split from the blade. And then of course you'll be ripping the sheathing off of here once you're done. It comes off real easy. You can go slow. It seems to go a little better if it's slow, but you can go a little faster if you get a good bead going on this thing. I think this is somewhere around number 6 or number 8. I think it's probably 6. But if you get a good bead on this, if you get it in here good, you can, if you get it in here just right, you can get this thing to go for a long time as long as you keep it steady. So just kind of pull back on it a little bit, sort of guide it. You can keep this thing going for a long time just like this. Long stretches of wire. You just gotta make sure this is exactly where it's supposed to be. You know, want to make sure that's exactly level. So you want to make sure that's just on it enough to cut the sheathing, but not too tight, and you can get it to go for a long period of time. Feel those coils coming up like that, yeah. I think that's pretty impressive. and it just strips right out of the jacket once you get done. So that's clean copper. Clean copper being stripped right out of the jacket. Rip off the sheathing, it's that easy. Solid wire seems to work a little better. When you start getting into stranded like size 6, size 8, it is a little more difficult. So you gotta really keep your hand on it and guide it through there and take your time. And you might even want to adjust the wheels in there with your Allen wrenches and make it a little more accurate. I don't know what the rules are on that, and I don't know if there's anything in the instructions that tell you not to do that, but I've done that a little bit, adjusted those wheels, helped a little bit. So the smaller the wire, the harder it is. Once you start hitting around size 1, 2, your 3/0, stuff like that, it just zips the coating right off of it. And folks, there you have the finished product, bare copper. I'm estimating there is probably about 1,000 pounds here. So look at that beautiful stuff. I think it's going for about $3, $3.50 a pound, $3.25 a pound maybe right now. Anyway, that's the end of all this. And if any of you are curious, what I did was I just took one of these types of skids and I took a wire spool and I've got it screwed down to this. And then this comes with bolts, and this comes with bolts, so I got it bolted down here, and it's just been working like a charm. Every once in a while you'll get stuck a little bit, but for the most part, it zips that wire through there. Just got keep your eye on it, keep it steady and right down the middle.